Good morning, world. Cedric.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I got all these lottery tickets from the state of California simply for getting the vaccine. What a deal. A chance to become California's next millionaire just for getting the shot?
It's a damn shame.
We're going to talk about that now. And there are no ill effects to the vaccine, people. Don't freak out. Nothing could possibly happen. But we're going to talk about that soon. I'm
Cedric.
That's it. Yeah, I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian, and this is Cedric and Brian. Hi, Cedric. I hope you were kidding.
I was kidding. Oh, I got these when I was a kid. My mom used to just rip them off, but...
Well, let me do it. Let me do that.
I didn't really
see if I can get some skin with that.
Jeez. I didn't really get the vaccine, but if you guys have been listening to the news lately, you get incentivized now for getting the vaccine. But before we talk about that, we're not wearing them today, but you guys can get your Cedric and Brian hats.
Oh, I wanted to address Candace for that, because Candace thought, Brian, why are you wearing your hat backwards all the time? Is everything a Tom McDonald video?
Yes.
And it's because I didn't have my hair cut. I just cut it yesterday.
Yes, he does it to hide his unkept hair. But make sure you get your hats at right here, CNB10. That's 10% off. And before we do anything else, make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell, and share our videos with everyone you know. All right, you guys are probably wondering why we're talking about this. It came from a listener, subscriber, who on our last video suggested that we do this. And so we just want to encourage you guys to still send in those video comments, send in the suggestions, send in your thoughts, and who knows, we just might do a video on it. So this is from Aspen Warner, who says, are you guys planning to cover the quote-unquote vaccine lottery? Got to love the increased size of the carrot to get people vaccinated. Danger wasn't working, so they have to give away millions in prizes to get people in. Seems sketchy to me. Aspen, we couldn't agree with you more, and that's why we're going to talk about that today. All right, Brian, let's get into this being incentivized for the vaccine.
Yeah, this is crazy. So Cedric put a list together, so do you just want to go right into a video?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do the bookend thing. We'll start off with the two Petri dishes. We'll start with New York, and we'll end with our own little crap show here, California. But let's start with what Governor Cuomo is doing in the great state of New York.
Today we announce a major statewide vaccination incentive for those who have not yet received the vaccine. We announced a plan where you could win up to $5 million if you get
$5 million.
And those exclusively, now that's only, if you read the fine print, it's only for those who are in nursing homes, because, wait, he already killed those people. Never mind, it's available to everybody else.
Well, we're going to go over Ohio, and I'll let this play out in a second. You'll get the idea. But Ohio actually created a lottery, which we'll go to, where they created new money for this. He's so cheap, all he did is he's basically giving you scratchers like he has for a chance to win the lottery. It wasn't that they put money away. They did. They put money away to give everybody a $20 card.
Right.
Whereas some of these other incentives, they actually put money away, and you're going to see with our own horrible state.
So we'll talk about that later. You get people of New York, you're actually paying for the next person to become a millionaire because he's just basically taking your money to pay for the scratchers.
Yeah, and he's just giving you a scratcher.
It's a damn shame.
Do I need to play any more of that?
Well, it's kind of entertaining. Let's play a little bit more.
vaccinated next week. Vax and Scratch.
Vax and
How do
Scratch.
you like
Sounds
that
like
name?
STD.
Vax and Scratch. You get a vaccination, and you get a lottery ticket for the $5 million mega multiplier New York State lottery. Now,
I don't think that's the Vax and Scratch he was talking
Vax
about.
and Scratch ticket has a first prize of $5 million,
Let's cut it.
but
Let's cut
a
this.
number
Let's
of
cut
prizes that go down.
There's a Vax and Scratch. It sounds like an STD you can try. Like, oh, baby, I got the Vax and Scratch.
Well, what's funny is it's a good name because you're probably going to be scratching that place where they vaccinated you.
Oh, my goodness. Ugh, that's crazy.
Okay, for all of you out there hating on us saying, hey, this is good. It's going to get people to vaccinate. And, that's good for society. But is it? For one, and here's what I didn't realize. I've asked so many people that got vaccinated, they didn't know that this is not FDA approved. They did not know that the vaccine, they think that they're getting an FDA approved vaccine. We are the trial. So when you do clinical trials, they have to do the human trials. Well, they rush this through. So we are, and when I say we, I mean the people who got the vaccine, you are the human trials. This is not a tested vaccine. As much as they try to throw it out there on the news, that is why they're offering all this incentives.
Right.
Because if it's something that is safe and it's safe, and you have to do the risk assessment. Am I going to die from this? Yes, I'm going to get the vaccine. Mm-hmm. If it's something like polio, they didn't have to do incentives. People said, I don't want to get polio. They went and got the vaccine.
Right.
People know.
Well, now you got to sell people in the fact, like, I don't want to catch something that I already have a 99.9% chance of surviving anyway.
Yeah.
So now you got to sell people to get that.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll get into the numbers. Let's play a couple more videos. Which video you want to hit next? We're going to play video roulette here.
Let's go with I think it's Ohio.
Ohio? Is that the team that won?
Yes.
All right, so here we go.
If protecting yourself against COVID isn't incentive enough to get the vaccine, how about winning $1 million or a full ride scholarship to college? That is what 2 lucky Ohio residents are now enjoying, all because they got vaccinated. The state announcing the first winners of its vaccine lottery. A recent college graduate took home the $1 million prize, and 14-year-old Joseph Costello won a 4-year full ride college scholarship. Joseph is joining me now with his parents, Colleen and Richard Costello. It's great to see you and great to meet you. Joseph, what an insane whirlwind for you. How did you find out that you'd won?
My dad was driving me home from youth group, and then the people from the state government told me in my driveway that I had won the scholarship from the vaccine and dream of the.
Joseph is going through some things already.
Why does he sound like he's from the South? Ohio isn't the South, is it? Wait, before Cedric goes on, why should they let this kid win? He's already got the white privilege.
That's a different.
He should not even have been up for the lottery.
That's a different video altogether.
That's a damn shame.
You should have gone to
this
a
pampered
minority
white kid, and they're putting it on CNN.
Right. Where's Black Lives Matter?
Exactly, man.
Oh, that's right. She's resigning because.
That's right.
That's we can't combine too many videos. Okay.
Buy large mansions is what her BLM
right.
stands for, right?
But and I'm gonna try and say this without being cynical, because me and Brian talked about earlier. What is the big rush to incentivize people to get this vaccine? Is because it's either one of two things. One, the government is so concerned about its U.S. inhabitants that they're going to great lengths to make sure that we eradicate this pandemic and this insidious disease before it wipes out the rest of the world.
Hey, you said that with a straight face.
Or number two, there's something very sinister going on here to push for this vaccine. And don't send me any hate stuff in the comments. What if this young man, he's not around to go to college by the time this vaccine does to his system what it may do to his system? Is there any disclaimer in there saying that, well, if said winner isn't around, money goes to his next of kin, or does it just go back to the state?
Well, this makes a lot more sense, though. Because when they do trials, they have to have volunteers that they pay to do trials. But they tell you explicitly, this is an untested thing. We will pay you so you can be part of our trial. They're not telling you that. They're just saying, hey, you get a chance to win. By the way, you may get hurt from this thing.
Right.
And
right.
People are just flocking to it. And again, it's a risk assessment that they're not letting you make that assessment. Because like I mentioned on our COVID perspective video, I know personally somebody who died because of the vaccine. And I'm not saying that as a conspiracy theory. The doctors even admitted, yes, the blood clots that ended up killing her were due to the vaccine.
Right.
So if you haven't watched that, go back and watch, because people seem to really like that we put the numbers out there. They're not letting us know that we are again, the people getting the vaccines, you are part of the trial. This is not an FDA-approved vaccine. I can't state that more, and they're just making this a big game.
Right. You have a great chart that we need to show the people. Before we do that, let's get one more video, and this is from the great state of New Jersey. This one almost got me. If I lived in New Jersey and they were offering this incentive, you know, they may have gotten me with it.
I had forgotten what this is, but he just reminded me of it.
We're not going to be afraid to try new things. Our office in the Department of Health.
So before I let it go on, just the headline catches you. Shot in a beer.
I know people personally.
Now, I would, if I saw that, I think I get a shot of tequila and a beer. You get a shot and a beer.
Right.
But no, they're not talking about that.
Right. The shot
Yes.
and a beer. Yeah. You take your phone off.
I know, hold on.
It's your brother-in-law.
Okay, hold on. 1 minute, please.
Oh my goodness.
I'm filming.
Ed.
I'm filming right now. What's up?
I need to talk to my agent. This is so
Oh,
unprofessional.
I didn't mean to call. I must have butt dialed you.
Tell him we'll see him Monday. He needs to bring the steaks for barbecue.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye. No, I'm hoping the calling gets back to me. I want to smoke a brisket or whatever that was.
And
Okay,
actually, Brian
sorry
brought
for
this
that.
up. I didn't know. I was thinking a shot and a beer, and I thought the same thing you thought, like a shot of tequila, but it's the shot
Yes, I know.
and a beer.
Let this governor. Is he the governor? Yeah, governor.
Partnership with the Brewers Guild of New Jersey.
Hey, Bill.
Are teaming up to launch our new Shot and a Beer program to encourage eligible New Jerseyans ages 21 and over to get vaccinated. Any New Jerseyan who gets their first vaccine dose in the month of May and takes their vaccination card to one of the following participating breweries as proof of vaccination will receive a free beer courtesy of the participating brewery.
Can we get that shot down at the Jersey Shore?
Right? Jeez. Oh, look, we said in the beginning that we're going to open with New York, and we have to close it with our own little petri dish over here, California, because he was the last one to come on board, and I think he wanted to assess what everybody else was doing before he put out his incentive.
COVID on the coast.
Governor Newsom announced incentives today aimed at boosting the pace of vaccinations. Fox 11's Brayton Metzger explains how you could win.
The state of California announced the largest vaccine incentive program in the country Thursday, over $116 million.
Okay, so before we go on and hear Newsom, he's hard, just please watch him and watch his mannerisms. I think he's a robot. But anyway, where's this Cedric brought this up, where's this $116.5 million coming from? Prize money.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's coming from Newsom's pocket.
Yeah. So they aren't free. And we'll bring that graph up in a minute. Let's watch this.
News comes just days after the Treasury Department gave the okay for states to use coronavirus relief funds for lotteries or cash payments.
These are an opportunity to say thank you to those not only seeking to get vaccinated as we move forward, but also those that have been vaccinated.
The total cost comes in at $116.5 million, with $100 million going towards incentive cards.
The next two.
I have a question. If I choose not to get that, can I get some cash since I'm not using that?
No, you have to volunteer to be a test dummy in order to get some money. You gotta play to pay.
We don't need to watch anymore.
No. And these are just a few. I think I sent Brian 7 or 8 videos from different states: New York, California, Ohio, Minnesota. There's some states that are even if you don't get vaccinated, if you just offer a ride to someone, you'll get a $50 debit card or gift card just for giving someone a ride down to the clinic to get the vaccine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. You need a ride?
No, I do not. So and here's the thing. And we all, for those of you who've gotten the vaccine, good on you. My parents got it. My dad's an older gentleman. He's 80 years old. He has COPD. He felt he was at risk because I've asked him 100 times. He goes, if I get this COVID thing, I'm a goner. That's what he feels in his heart of hearts. I was going to argue with him.
And again, when you're doing risk assessment, and we're going to go over the chart later, if you're over 75, maybe even over 65, but definitely over 75, you do that risk assessment, and yes, the numbers then don't look so good for you if you get the actual disease. But I know people that were in over 75 that already had COVID and survived it. They still went and got it because the medical profession was saying you should still get it even though you had it. But now, last week, they now they're coming out and saying if you already had it, you have immunity for life, you don't need the vaccine. But guess how many people survived the virus, got the vaccine, and then didn't do so well?
Right. I want Brian to put this quote up on the board really quick. It's from a gentleman by the name of Andrew Lewis, and I think it's so applicable to what's going on right now. Because remember, when you go get the vaccine, you're not paying for it. It's something that they're giving free of charge. It's a service they're providing the community and for the inhabitants of the United States of America. It says if you're not paying for something, you're not the customer, you're the product being sold. And if you haven't heard that one, I'm sure you guys have all heard the, if it sounds too good to be true, you guys are all saying it. It probably is.
I think it's a good time to bring up a chart.
Bring up the chart, yes.
Okay, so again, I'm going to go back to perspective. So I'm going to bring up one, and we'll get to the good one here at the end. But this first one, this is estimated relative risk of death from COVID-19 versus the flu or pneumonia. Okay, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're pushing this vaccine on kids because most of the older at-risk population has gotten the vaccine. Now, and this is where you can put on your conspiracy hat. I have no idea why, if they really think they're doing good. Look at those first three. The first three, less than a year old, 1 to 4, and 5 to 14-year-olds, they're in the red over there because they have a higher risk of dying from the flu or pneumonia than COVID. Okay? So that's just the first thing off the bat. Why are they offering this to 12-year-olds when your risk of death, and I'm going to give you the real numbers here. So here are the real numbers. So these are the people per million that have died from the disease. So if you're real young, it's 17. 17 out of a million. Okay? But here's where we get into the people that are getting vaccinated. From 5 to 14, 2 people per million have died from this. And again, we've discussed this. Did they die from it or did they had it?
Right.
And then from 15 to 24, 19 out of a million. And if we give you the cold numbers here, these are the number of people that have actually died by May 12th of 2021 from the disease. Crunch these numbers. If you're young, your chances of dying from this are so slim that I'm going to bring up one last chart here, just to indulge me, Cedric. Now this chart is COVID-19 versus leading cause of death. So in those younger groups, so I'm going to take the 10 to 14-year-olds because this is where they're pushing those 12-year-olds.
Right.
So you have more chances of dying. The number one reason to die at that age is from accidents, unintentional injuries. The second is suicides. The third is cancer. The fourth is homicide. So you have a better chance of being murdered, way more than COVID, then congenital anomalies, then heart disease. How many 12-year-olds do you know that die of heart disease? And then chronic respiratory disease, then cerebrovascular, then COVID.
Yes. And if you're a black male in the city of Chicago, that increases by 100-fold. Thank you, Mayor Lightfoot.
On the homicide. So again, I'm only doing this I'm going to give you a minute. Just take in this. Pause this if you want. Just look at this graph. Let me make it big for you.
Yeah. Just take your phone and save the screenshot.
All right. Are you worried as a 12-year-old that if you walk out of the house, you're going to get shot? Well, if you're LeBron James, you do.
Oh, every time you step out of your house.
Yeah. Okay. For normal people that have a brain cell, if you're not worried about homicide every time you leave your house, why are you getting an injection of a non-FDA experimental drug, an emergency shot into your arm? And that's why we did this, because now they're paying you to do it. There's something going on.
Yeah.
It's maybe they just need to use it up because they've invested so much money. I have no idea. And then that ties into, remember, we couldn't even say a year ago that we thought maybe this thing came out of the lab because they would shut you down. Well, now guess what they're saying. So.
Well, remember when Trump was accused of xenophobia because he cut down travel to China?
Yeah, I know.
And now that's running rampant through India. our current commander-in-chief says, oh, maybe we shouldn't allow travel through India. And everybody's like, oh, that's a great idea.
I know.
Incredible.
I just want to, because I know there's parents out here that watch this, and you're thinking, I want to do what's best for my child. And I'm not going to say your child will not die from COVID-19, because obviously they could die from, you let them out the house, you let them drive. We get nervous as parents. Every time your kids drive, you get nervous. But you don't go irrational and say, you're never driving. So your chances of your child, again, even all the way up into 80, what's that last one, 85 years old, you still have a higher chance of dying of heart disease. But when you get into areas like my age bracket here, I'm in that one where...
That's off the chart.
Yeah, I know. Heart disease is way higher than COVID-19. So, but for kids, just please think before you just go and use your kid as a guinea pig to get him a free scholarship.
Right. And we talked about this before filming. Brian brought up a great point. We're just talking before we started filming, and we talked about being incentivized for getting the vaccine. What if we incentivize people for losing weight, or if they stop smoking, or if they stop engaging in other riskier activities that they shouldn't be engaging in? But now we're going to incentivize people just to get a shot, again, for something that has a 99.9% chance of survival anyway.
Yeah, and for kids at the ages that they're pushing it on now, it's 99.98, I believe, chance of survival. And we gave you the numbers. Out of 1 million, how many have died? More kids have died from all of these other things. And look at the suicide, all the way up through your mid-20s. That is much higher than COVID, much higher. Why don't we reach out and worry about mental health? And all the homelessness you see on there is mental health issues. Much more. Let's take that. How much was it? 16.5 million? Yeah. Why don't we put that towards mental health and keep these kids from killing themselves? How about that? Keep them off drugs. I'm going to close this out because I'm going back to, again, it's a risk assessment. And for those of you who think there's just no risk in giving your kids this vaccination, we don't know the risk. This has not been tested. It has not been out long enough. I know of a healthy 33-year-old that is in the ICU fighting for his life after he got the vaccine, his second dose of the vaccine. In Connecticut, I believe it's in Connecticut, there's a dozen or so people that now have, cardiomyopathy, or they have inflammation around their heart.
Yes.
After receiving the vaccine. So no, this is not just something perfectly safe that you can go give your kids just so you can win $1 million or whatever the case may be. Look at the risk assessment and make a judgment. Do you let your kid drive? It's much more deadly for them to go out and drive on the road than it is for them to die of COVID. Keep that in mind before you just offer your kids up or yourself up for this experimental vaccine.
Right. So you guys, again, like Brian said, think about that before you go out there and rush out and get this vaccine for your chance to win the lottery. Because, and I don't know the exact numbers, but you guys know the chances of winning the lottery anyway. It's very slim. Okay, everyone, now that Brian has summed everything up, we're going to read our comment from the week. And this comes from our video. If you haven't seen it, go back and check it out. We did the COVID-19 perspective. And this young man by the name of Joe Torres, and we've been following up with him. This one's pretty serious. He goes, I'm getting vaccinated tomorrow, and I'm less than happy about it. I teach at a local university, and basically all education personnel in the area are getting vaccinated this week. I'm not convinced about it. Its effectiveness is between 56 to 65%, which to me is a complete failure. And they are unsure about side effects. But I was told, and this irritated me, but I was told basically that either I get vaccinated or start looking for another line of work. It's enraging. And when I read that, I had to screenshot and send it to Brian immediately. I'm like, this can't be right. I mean, this screams lawsuit. Or
yeah, I told him. I said, that guy should find a lawyer.
Yeah, because if your job's being threatened because you don't get vaccinated, something wrong with that. I'm gonna follow with Joe again, and we'll see what happened.
Yeah, because this was last week. So he, like most people, their livelihood is at stake. They probably went and did it. And don't get us wrong. The chances of something bad happening to him is probably very negligible. But again, at his age group, I'm assuming he's probably in his 30s or 40s. His risk of dying from COVID is also negligible. So you're taking, what does they say? The devil you know versus the devil you don't know?
Right. Right.
And we don't know what's going to happen with this vaccine. We already see people getting inflammation around their heart. And that's only the ones that they're letting us know about. I know, like I told you on the last video, I know 3 people, one that passed away because of after they got the vaccine, and I know somebody that had Bell's palsy from it. I've known a number of people that have gotten shingles. So it is messing with your immune system. So again, the devil you know, the devil you don't know. We know, and a lot of these people have already survived getting COVID-19, yet they're still going and getting an experimental, and I can't say it again, it's an emergency vaccine. It is not FDA approved, people. Let everybody know that. Most people, they think it's something that's perfectly safe and approved. It's not.
Yeah, because most vaccines are taking a weaker, lesser version of the virus that's attacking you and putting that into your system. Yeah. This is something that's completely fabricated and man-made that they're injecting into your system. Yeah. So we don't know what's going to happen. But anyway, we can beat that to death. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you have people out there who are contemplating getting this shot and you want to share this video with them, please do. Me and Brian try and have a light, hard to look at things. We know this isn't a lighthearted topic. We know it's serious, but we just try and give you the ordinary guy version of it. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell, and please share this video with everyone you know. Until next time, please be good to each other. I'm Cedric.
I'm Brian. We'll see you later.